This is Drew from the Madison Audubon Bald Eagle Nest Watch. I was gonna take, just gonna go right on to the nest. You should be getting a pretty good view of. Well, welcome to everybody. As I said, my name is Drew Cashman. I'm with the Madison Audubon Bald Eagle Nest Watch, and we're taking a look at a live look at incubating bald eagle. Since I last did a talk at the end of the 2020 season, quite a bit. We are now in the Fox Valley area, and we've partnered with the Thousand Island Environmental Center to bring the nest watch to the Fox Valley, and we're currently doing 20 nests and have about 68 volunteers, the Thousand Island staff, as well as all the volunteers in the Fox Valley. It's very excited, and we're very happy to bring you aboard. We've also grown quite a bit in the south in our Madison Audubon group. We now are up to 57 nests and 142 volunteers. Which is absolutely awesome. Thanks to all our southern volunteers, our landowners, and as well as everybody that supported us. We're going into our 4th year, and I never imagined we'd be at 77 nests and over 200 volunteers. Again, to everybody, all our volunteers, you do a great job. So what are the eagles doing currently right now? Like this one, 15 nests in the south around the Madison area that are already on eggs. And then we also have 2 in the Fox Valley that are on eggs as well. So they're a little bit farther behind us, but they think they're getting more eggs in the nest. Cold spot, and so it's been a little bit tough for them. The eagles have been a little quiet, but I think that it's going to pick up as have increased. Can you guys hear me okay? If somebody can comment and say as well. All right. So just wanted to. These guys actually been on eggs since the. They have been about 3 weeks so far, and they'll be on eggs for probably another week and a half. It takes about 35 days for them to like a lot of other birds. Eagles will lay 1 egg after copulation, and then they will lay a 2nd egg about a day or so after that first egg. So that's and then probably most likely lay a 3rd egg, and then in some rare cases they will lay a 4th egg. A day or 2 apart as well. And then you have the kind of the pecking order of the eaglets. Let's see here. So once these guys hatches out of the they're completely they completely have to use their adults to keep them warm, even when as you see, definitely be on. They'll be incubating the little eaglets, and then they go about 2 weeks in. We start to see they start to see the eggs. Great time. You see the little heads, little puffball heads popping up. So that's always a lot of fun. Feel free to, if you have any questions eagle related, put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them live for you. don't get to your question, I'll try to answer it after the session. So to talk a little bit about eagles and cold weather, since we were in that stretch of a couple of weeks where it was, negative pretty much every day. Eagles have a couple of abilities or adaptations that they use to stay warm in the cold weather. First, they're larger birds, so unlike chickadee, the smaller birds, they can kind of stay in one spot, conserve their energy, and it has to be constantly moving, getting more food and calories. So the eagles have the advantage there, being a larger bird. They also are capable dropping their temperature, their core temperature a few degrees. Energy that way. They also, as most of our volunteers have seen, in cold stretches, they don't do a whole lot of, not much activity surrounding that. So you just perch or stay in one spot and conserve their heat and conserve their energy. Another thing that you've probably seen a lot of birds do is what they do is they trap cold air in between their feathers, kind of like a heater. So that's another thing that actually most birds do. As you see in those cold stretches, you'll see a lot of the birds fluffed up like that. Just wanted to mention, if you do come across a nest, we want to keep our distance. I'm viewing this from quite a ways away through my spotting scope, so I highly recommend you use binoculars or a spotting scope or a long-range camera, long lens camera. Early period where it is cold, they're conserving those calories, and they don't want to necessarily get spooked or get to take flight and burn some calories. So keep that in mind, and if you do have a nest near you, as much space as they possibly can to succeed. As we work through it, this nest in particular, they've been very successful through the years, and this is a veteran team of eagles. I actually saw, driving in, I believe I saw the mate of this eagle down at the river. There's some open water by the river, and they're a short flight to the river, so they most likely, the other is about getting their food, and then eventually they'll switch, and they'll come in, which we call a shift change. They'll come in. So that's a great question. A lot of them, the largest nest I believe was about 9. I think it was like 9 feet across. This one is I'd say probably 4 feet across, and weighing to close to 1,000 pounds in that weight range. This is for a bald eagle, medium-sized nest to a little bit on the small side. Just checking the view, but they can get quite large, and there's a couple in Wisconsin. If you've seen a number of nests in Wisconsin, there's one in particular that's got to be close to 7. And they've been adding to it for years. So there's a lot of large nests, and unfortunately, when you do build large nests, a lot of them do fall down in wind, or they just get too large, and the tree can't support it. But this one's good shape, good nest, and expect to this probably for at least a few more years. Another thing that the eagles do right before the breeding season is their sexual hormones from the breeding season. Hormones kick up, and they get what's called, and a lot of other birds get this as well, it's called a brood patch. And what that does, it helps them to transmit that heat, their body heat, to the eggs, and then they can regulate the temperature and keep the eggs viable. Periodically, the incubating eagle will get up. They'll stretch a little bit, but they'll also be rolling the eggs, and that's just to keep the temperature normal on all sides of the egg so they stay viable. Trying to see if there's any further questions you have, but I'll talk a little bit about how the season goes. Once we get out of this season is the 35 days and the hatching, the eagles will grow. The eaglets will grow extremely fast. They're one of I think the first or second fastest growing vertebrates in the animal kingdom. They go from 2 ounces when they hatch up to a female is about 12 pounds. So that's a lot to add, and they add that in about 8 to 9 weeks. An eagle will fledge usually around it's usually about weeks at the end of the season in the spring. And if you had our last live show, you probably saw that in the May and June time frame is when they hatch. As you see, this one is I believe I saw the female earlier, but I think that's the male. It looks like the male. And they just kind of sit there. It's not hard to keep warm, so they do that as well. All right. Sorry, it's a very bright day, so I'm trying to see the nest. I can't see it that great, but hopefully you guys see it are seeing it well. This is a really cool experience to take a look at a nest. And they work really hard. This is a long season. The breeding season is about 5 or 6 months for eagles. So this pair of eagles, as well as the other eagles, have a long road going ahead, and then they'll finally get a break, usually in the fall, once the fledglings have gone off on their own. Let's see here. All right. Well, I think I'm going to sign off for now. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll be doing these periodically through the season, and showing you what's going on with the nest. If you are interested in our program, you can go on to the Madison Audubon website or the Thousand Islands Facebook page. They're also have a lot of information about the program. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in the future.